I'm Izabella Gonzalez, and I'm an incoming 12th grader or senior, and I am in FLVS, Florida Virtual. I directed in the math section of the SAT, and I took it so many times, and it was always like the last 10 questions in math module 2. I'd always have like a really hard time, and it was really frustrating especially because I took AP Calculus, and I generally really like math. It was really frustrating not to get those like questions, and I was like stuck at a score that I didn't really want, I guess.
And I could see the frustration, and it just didn't add up, to be doing so well at school and with her classes. And just, she was always in the 600s. And every time she comes, it was like defeated a little bit, She always told me, it's like, I know it. I just cannot, I guess, filter or funnel her knowledge into the SAT model, I guess. I think that was her biggest frustration. That's when I decided that, maybe she needs a little help. And, everything happens for a reason. Another SAT, another 600s result. And she asked one of her friends from ballet, what did you get? And she was like, 1500s, like high 1500s or mid, no, 1510. I'm like, Izzy, ask her where, how she studies, She said piece of pie, and I Googled it, and I watched all your little videos like that before I reached out, and, she can tell you the rest.
Before piece of pie, it was like a program on OutSchool, but it was more like a general, it was like an SAT course, but it was more just like a group class, and it wasn't very directed. And yeah, I guess I self-studied, but it was kind of just like all over the place. I think I was missing like structure. And that's what piece of pie had, and that's why I was able to get my score up. It was mainly because of like the colleges that I'm interested in attending. The score that I had wasn't good enough for those colleges, and I'm happy to say now the score I have is good. And specifically, there's like a program, and the minimum score is a 1500, and I really wanted to get into the program, so I'll be applying to it. What is it called?
BSMD.
Yeah.
At University of South Florida.
Yeah, so I get to apply there because now I have the score, like I can apply now. So yeah, I'm happy about that. Said I'm very used to it. But it was a very nice setting. The tutor that I had, she was very supportive, and also like my little group, I had a fun time learning with them. It was scary in the beginning, like I was nervous, but everybody was very nice, and I got to see like everyone makes mistakes. It's part of like the learning process. Honestly, I think the virtual setting was actually made it even better because it was very flexible. I got like, if I had to be in a library, I could still do my like 4-hour sessions, or even if I was at home, or if I had to go somewhere on Saturdays. Like, I think it was actually beneficial for it to be virtual, so I didn't need to like physically go somewhere, and I can do a work.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I concur on that.
yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
if it was in person, we wouldn't be able, because it's a commitment on Saturday. Life happens in those 2-3 months we are moving. So, being in a virtual environment, and I've never felt that I'm like she's missing, like for her as a parent, you're missing on your investment, right? I've never felt that way because they were always on top of everything. She was studying for exams. There was encouragement emails, and whenever they had to be tough, they were tough in a nice way. Like you have to get it done. And for me, that's what was like really important. A kid, a teenager, it's good to hold them accountable. And
I will say it was definitely a lot of the workload was a lot, but I think that was the only way that I would have been able to get my score because of the workload. It was really awesome, like going in the SAT and seeing the exact same questions that I've been studying in the homework. Yeah, it was definitely tough because I was also studying for AP classes, but again, like the team was very encouraging. encouraging. Whenever I thought it was overall, the workload was manageable, and they even did push me a little more, but they made sure to ask me if like I was okay with that, and I was. So I think it's manageable, and again, they're very like they make sure you get it done. Honestly, I think it's a very successful program. If you do the homework and you put in the time, I think that you'll definitely reach your goal score. And yeah, I fully recommend it. I love pizza pie.
I would what I appreciated as a parent was the everything was customized for Izabella. And I did interview some other programs Izabella knows, Crimson, or like those big ones, but I never felt it's gonna be any different than the outschool she had, and here, and I watching the videos, but also I want to put it out there. What I liked is within a week they identified Isabella's weaknesses. They identified Isabella's weaknesses and they drilled on that. And I think that's what, because Isabella had the knowledge, and I know a lot of kids will have the knowledge, but you have to like a math problem, because I was listening. What I liked is that Isabella knew how to solve a problem, but Isabella knew how to solve it the long way, the time consuming way, and that wasn't okay for SIT purposes. That's why I was saying Isabella had the knowledge, but she couldn't funnel it in the SIT format, and that's what I liked. And they'll emphasize, yes, it's correct, but it's not the fastest way. There's a faster way, and in SIT world that makes the difference. And that's what I really like, that it was customizable for Izabella, the identification of her weaknesses and working on that until they felt that she can move on something else. And through the process, through the questions that she asked, or the questions that she gets wrong during those 4-hour sessions, they identified more weakness and they work on that. And also I really appreciated the extra classes that you guys give to Izabella, and not only to Izabella, to the group. I think that was very nice as well. Whenever I guess the teachers felt that a group needed a little extra, it was given.
My initial score that like was my best before pizza pie, I had 690, and then after the course, I ended up with a 780. So that was, I think, 90-point increase.
Yes.
And yeah, it allowed me to get to my goal score. So my goal score was a 1500, and I was able to. I definitely feel a lot better. Because I've been taking the SAT. I took it at least like 6 times before pizza pie, and yeah, I took it a lot. And then right after I took the test after the program, immediately increased. So now I feel a lot more confident applying to those colleges that I want to apply to. Especially there's so many good ones in Florida, and I have bright futures too. And yeah, I definitely feel like I have a way better chance of getting into my colleges that I want to get to. And I also have more programs that I can apply to and more scholarships that I feel like I can achieve maybe. And yeah, so I think overall just more confidence and more possibilities have opened because of that score. And yeah, and I also feel like I've also just gained more skills. Because it was actually funny, because when I was taking my AP Calc test, actually I got to apply those same like SAT skills. There's actually one question, it was something like with a parabola, and it was just because of the SAT prep that I was able to like apply it. So yeah, I'll definitely be taking those skills and like test taking strategies with me. Yes. So yeah. Some advice I'd give to students like me, I guess, is just put in the work. And I think it's very important to know that you can do it, because it gets really like frustrating, especially if you're like me and you've like taken it so many times. But I think it's very important to trust the process.
Yes.
Yeah, and just I think the most important part is just doing the homework, because that's the only way to get the recognition of the questions and the repetition, and just seeing it. It feels so good to see it on the test and know how to solve it. So So yeah, the advice I'd give is like do the homework, believe in yourself, and like trust the process, because Peace of Pie knows what they're doing for sure.
As a parent, as a person, it's, in my opinion, it's worth the investment, because for a short period of time, it's 2 months, it's not a short, but in your college preparation, right? It's a relatively good amount of time. I would call it short because, we prepare for college like, 2 years before you start applying. I think it's well worth it to set up that time, as an investment as well as the parent, but to be aligned with your kid as well, that, you have to just put the time and, work on it, and I think it's well worth it, because we're done. That's it.
Yeah, no more SAT. Yeah.
Yes, and I've seen friends of hers taking kids, cannot apply until they cannot benefit from early decisions or any of that because they don't have their scores. So now she can focus on her essays and everything else. You're just done.